Yeah, my name is John Temidayo. Yeah, I like to watch movies. I love going out. Sometimes I like to meet new people. I love to play basketball. A happy person, just happy. Yeah, it started when I was done with secondary school. A family friend came to stay in my place, and we were chilling. We were always together, and as a guy. So he was this kind of person was always spending. He had this money. He was always spending on me and all that. So at some point, we went out. Then I always be with him and his friends. They always smoke weed. And the first time he gave me to try, but I was like, no, I don't want to do it. So at some point, it was like I was like, this guy, anything I want, he gives it to me. So let me just try it. So that day I tried it and it blew my mind. And that was how I started though. That was how I started taking weed. But at some point, other drugs like came in. That was when I entered university. I was always with niggas that do, guys that do weed, that smoke weed. So there's this, that sometimes I'll be with them and I'll see some of them taking a drink in a bottle of like a syrup kind of bottle, and I'll be like, what's this? Some be like popping pills, this kind of like drug kind of medicine. So I was nervous. I was trying to know what they were doing. So I met guys that told me like, hey, this is codeine, this is Refnol, this is how it is. When you take it, you feel good, you feel slow, you trip and all that. So the first day I was like, let me try this codeine. Let me try it. And I went extreme the first day I took it. Like I didn't take like a cover, I took a whole bottle. There's what we call GFK. And that GFK is like we add money together, like half of the I'll bring half of the money we used to buy the codeine, you bring half. So when we buy the bottle of codeine, you go and drink half and I'll drink half, then the other person will drink half too. So that day I GFK with someone. I took half, the person took half. I did it with another person. So that was the whole bottle I took that day, and I can't remember the way I went to my hostel. I couldn't remember the way I went to my hostel. I just woke up the next day and I was like, wow. So with time I started doing pills too. That's Refnol, some people call it Strenol, some people call it 542. I started doing pills, and that pills is the kind of pill that boosts your morale, boosts your confidence. Some guys that want to try and talk to a girl and all that, when they are on pills, they feel they can just tell the girl, also tell the girl what's on their mind and all that. So it was it was this kind of drug, like you feel like it boosts your morale, it makes you happy. Like when I was taking Refnol back then, when I smoke weed, I feel I'm not happy. But when I take the Refnol, I feel it makes me happy and all that. So at some point, I left school. I had to drop out. I wasn't serious. I wasn't concentrating on my studies, and I just had to drop out. So while I was at home, I met a guy along the run. I met this guy. They're always smoking, drinking codeine every day, taking pills. Then he introduced me to another drug. That's the fourth drug I took. The fourth drug. I mentioned weed, I mentioned codeine, Refnol. So then he introduced me to crack cocaine. And I saw the drug and I was like, what's this? Like, this is the first time I'm seeing this kind of drug. Like, what's this? And it's just like the white stones. You have to cut them, put it inside a kind of glass, then you light it up. So it felt like when I started doing the crack, it felt like it was the beginning because it was so crazy. Like it was so crazy. The addiction was, it was nothing to write home about. So I started taking crack, and at first I was deceiving myself that it's just a normal thing. I can't get too addicted. Yeah, I'll try and control it at some point. I'll just, at some point I'll be able to control it. That was what I felt. But with time, I noticed this drug goes together. Like when you take weed, you want to take codeine to make the weed last longer. You want to take ref to make everything just go together. And when you're on weed, codeine, and ref, at that point you want to take crack. So everything will just rhyme and you feel good. You feel like you're in the sky. At that moment, you feel like Jesus, I mean God is with you, rolling with you and all that. So it was crazy because at some point it became worse. Became very worse. I sold my properties, sold my laptop, sold my phones, sold everything just to take crack. I was getting very lean. Like I was so lean. My neck was getting very long, my head was getting smaller. And I look at myself in the mirror and I'll be like, shake my head. Sometimes I just start to cry, and it wasn't that life wasn't just it. Like that life wasn't it. Drug addiction, it was so crazy. But with time, at some point though, I went to rehabilitation center. Yeah, I decided to go because I actually wanted to stop. Because my life was stagnant. My life was so stagnant. I was so lean. And people would see me and be like, "What's wrong with this, John? What's wrong with you?" You'd see it, like it was very obvious. Like anytime I enter my room, like my mirror is usually facing my door. So anytime I enter my room, I just look at myself in the mirror and be like, I'll shake my head and damn. And sometimes I'll be like, okay, you have to stop. But when I get money, I just find myself doing it again. And crack is so bad that at some point for like 2 weeks you won't eat not anything, just drinks, orange juice and all that. You won't eat nothing. As long as you have money in your pocket, you won't eat. And sometimes I won't have money, and I'll be like, okay, I'm going to eat now. I don't have money, I want to eat now. And someone just sent money to me. Immediately I see the alert of that money, my appetite is gone. I can't eat. So the life was just crazy. It was just crazy because I knew I was in a bondage. Like I knew my life wasn't moving forward. I was stagnant, and it was affecting me a lot. It was affecting my relationship with my family members, with my sister, my parents. Like it was affecting everything generally. So, but I couldn't just stop. So I went to the rehabilitation center. I wanted to stop though, but something about the rehab, you meet other guys that would still be like, they didn't come intentionally, like they were forced and all that. So they'll still be boosting your morale that guy, you can still continue this thing now. Just try and control it and all that. So I left there. The day I came back, that day I went to my friend's house, and that day was already calling a dealer. And the day I came back, I did it again, and it was getting worse. The day I came back and I did it, I knew, like I was told that, like, guy, if you actually go back to do this thing, to get very worse. So I went back, and I relapsed. So it was getting very worse. It was getting worse. So one day I bought like a gram or so of it. Then I took it. And after taking it, I sat down and I started thinking. I started thinking about my life. I started thinking about the about drugs from the beginning, how I started and where it has taken me to. I just thought of the disadvantages. I thought about everything concerning drugs in my life. So since that day, I promised myself like I was not going to take this thing again. Yeah, it was with personal stuff. crack was a personal stuff. I stopped crack myself, so I sat down and I thought about it. And I was like, this thing. Then since that day, I was like, I was not going to do it again. Like after today, like after that day, I wasn't going to take crack again. So that was why I stopped crack since. Yeah, I don't say I will. That was why I stopped crack, and I was smoking weed. Then I continued smoking weed, and that one was worse because I wasn't doing any other drug. Like it was just weed, and I smoke a lot of weed in a day. Like I smoke so much. Yeah, the effect of crack is worse. The thing is, why I stopped crack, it was it was affecting me. I started getting paranoid. Do you know what I mean by paranoid? Like, I started getting paranoid in the sense that when I take crack, I tend to, I tend to look everywhere like is someone watching me. Like, look at my windows and like is someone watching me? Who is that? And I hear just a little sound of like, who is there? Someone passing. Exactly. I was paranoid. I was scared of nothing. I was just scared for nothing. There was nothing coming. There was nobody looking at me. There was nothing. I was just scared for nothing. And and some people, I've seen people like in that kind of case too. And when they get paranoid, some will just hold a knife and be like, in case anybody comes, just so self-defense and all that. But there was nothing. I was just scared for nothing, and it was worse. And when I take it with some of my friends that I don't really trust, I'll be looking at their face. And that moment, they might be giving me a weird look, but it didn't matter though. Then the next thing, when I take it, I'll just run out of the house. Before this guy go and kill me, that's what will be on my mind. Like, this guy should not go and kill me. And so I was just paranoid, I was just scared for nothing. And it was getting very worse. Like I was getting mad and all that. But I wasn't mad, that was just the side effects of too much. But there are a lot of people that took crack than me. Like a lot of people that took that stuff. Like yeah, I had friends that took crack more than 100, 150K per day. And, but they never had that side effects. But I don't know, maybe God just wanted me to stop. And so it was getting worse. And something about the paranoia, I was like, there's this pill, that Refno. I tend to take, when you take Refno with the crack, you won't really get paranoid. But it tends to wear out. It will wear out. Like, I can't just take one pill. That Refno, I abused Refno a lot. In fact, I abused everything. Refno, pills. Most people that will just start taking pills, they can't take more than one pill or two pills. At most 3 pills. I took a card. I took a card. I took 2 cards. I took 3 cards. I took 4 cards in a day. Yeah, in a way though. In a way, it helps you to be smart. You feel, at that moment, you feel you're smart, you're active, you're doing everything right the way you're meant to do it. But that's that's not the way it is in the actual sense. When you study yourself, when you like sit down and look at yourself at that moment, you are not doing the things. You are not doing it right. You are not being smart. It affects one. You feel you are doing it smart. You feel like you are doing it the best way you can, but no, that's not the best way. The best way is being normal and thinking in the normal way one is meant to think. So it doesn't help. It doesn't help.
I find space for what I
Yeah,
treasure.
it was
I
it was a process, and it wasn't a process in the sense that in the sense that the day I decided to stop, yeah,
choose
I decided
my
like yeah, I wasn't going to take it again. I wasn't going to do crack again. But after that day,
Jesus,
for
you're
like
my
1, 2, 3, let me say 1, 2, 3 months. After or in the third month, there's this friend of mine. I met him again, and I was like, "Hey, what's up? How you doing?" And all that. I stopped crack. I was still doing weed, codeine once in a blue moon, ref once in a while. Yeah, ref was still like every day, but I wasn't happy. I was taking up to 4 cards, just like 2 pills, 3 pills. I wasn't doing more than that for pills. So this guy, this friend of mine, was like, "What's up? Come and chill with me and all that." So he bought crack. I'm like, "Guy, I'm not doing crack again. No. Just buy me codeine. Just give me money to buy codeine and get pill for myself." So it was like, okay, no wahala. And he gave me money. I bought codeine. I bought a few pills. And that day I was with him in his room and I was just dicing the stuff. He was doing his crack and all. And I was looking at him, looking at him, looking at him. I was like, guy, let me just take one or two. And I took one or two that day. And after that day, still, I felt like I said I wasn't going to do this thing again. Why did I go back? So then after that day, that was literally like last time I took it. After that day, I decided not to take it. Exactly. Yeah, exactly. I felt I needed to, but at the same time, I was still like, even if I'm still chilling with them, I can't do it again because after some time, I was still chilling with them. They take it in my presence, but I won't do it no matter what. I won't just do it. So, but let me don't make it people see it in the wrong way. Like we are different from each other. So the advice I would just give is when you stop, just distance yourself. Like you can tend to go back to it because it's an expensive drug, and when you feel you're not doing it again, you might not have money to really do it. So when you see it, when you know that you're seeing it for free, you might just want to go back and to obviously get worse than before. Yeah, it affected me majorly. It affected me like it affected me my career and it affected me like seriously like schools and it affected me. I won't lie. It was one of the major things that affected me, my progress and everything. So it affected me seriously. Yeah, sure, sure. If I was to go back in time, I won't do drugs. I would never do drugs. I would never, never, never. Because back then it feels like you're a big boy, you're chilling and all that. But at at some point of my life, I felt like this thing is just a life waster. It's just going to waste your life and hinder you from going forward, from progressing. And at some point, you just see your mates like they're far, far. You are just still at the back. But it's not too late though. It's not too late to just stop and determine that you just want to stop and focus on yourself. Yeah, the other ones, mhm, I'll say the crack I decided to stop on my. It was God. It was God, sure. But the other ones was majorly God. You know, God. God wanted me to stop. Like God took it away from me Himself. Like I didn't want to stop it, but I had some experience and I just felt I could just continue. I also wanted to do some things. I didn't want to do things that God doesn't want. I didn't want to continue doing those things that God isn't happy with. So I had to stop everything. Yeah, since I stopped, I have this peace of mind. I'm always at home. Sometimes like no like sometimes you just want to go out because you're not doing drugs and all. So you just want to have fun, like chill. Because at some point I used to the highness lifestyle, and that highness is the kind of fun for you at that point in time. The kind of fun you feel like you're having fun when you get high. So the fact that I'm not doing drugs and all that, I just want to go out. Sometimes I want to chill with some friends, just go out and have fun. I have just a friend though, and sometimes we still do weed and all that. So sometimes I just want to go out and talk to him, and even if I made up my mind already, but sometimes I just want to go out. Yeah, exactly. I try so many times. I've tried so many times, like so many times. And he actually wants to stop you, but drug. Yeah, the addiction. You obviously want to stop, but you can't just stop. You can't. It's not easy. Yeah, I hear stories about people going mad, people having doing mistakes due to the drugs, like making costly mistakes, like probably driving, take drugs while driving and have accidents and all that. But I just have this self boldness or self confidence, like nothing they happen when I take it. It doesn't really mess with me. I feel like I'm controlling it. And sometimes I go out, I'll be so high. But I always tell my friends that, like, guy, when I'm on this steering, there's nothing. Like, that moment, I don't want to die. So I dey shine my eyes. But that's just the deceit. I'm deceiving myself at that moment because something could have happened. Sometimes you know that, oh, at this moment I could have died. Yeah. And, you know, it's just, that's just it. Drugs will give you self confidence and you feel you're doing the right thing. But yeah, it's fake. The fake self confidence. Yeah. The advice would be just focus on whatever you want to do with your life and make sure drugs, drug addiction don't deviate you from whatever you want to do. And the first thing is don't even look there. Don't try to make a friend make you feel inferior, like guy, you're not taking this thing, you're a small boy and all that. But just ignore it. Just be like, I have somewhere, I have a focus in my life, I have where I want to go to, I have where I want to reach. So this thing won't make me get there. So just don't do it. No matter the point you get to, no matter what you're going through, I feel you should just pray to God, and no matter what you're going through, you don't have to. Drugs won't take it away. After taking the drugs to calm down, and you still think about what you're going through. So drugs is not a cure or it's not a solution to whatever you're going through. So don't just do it. That's my advice for those younger ones, those in their twenties, and don't feel inferior. Don't feel taking drugs you will be like a big boy. They'll see you as a more relevant person. At the moment you start taking drugs, your family members, your relatives see you as an irrelevant person. So what's the essence? It's not needed. It's going to weigh you down. At some point, drugs actually gives depression. So when you feel you're depressed and you want to do drugs, and you feel the drugs will cure it, the drugs itself will still give you more depression. So it's better not to just look at it. Just yeah, a lot of times I cried. I was depressed at one point. I was very, very depressed. I just be my own. Nobody knows what I was going through. But then I come out, this now, look at a person when you see me outside, when you see me come outside, I just pick up a smiley face. I get things going well. Very good. Deep down, I have some thoughts and I'll just break down with my own and be crying and crying. Nobody knew about it. So that's why parents too need to always check up on their children, needs to be very close to their children, needs to always check up on them, talk to them, and to make them feel like their best friend. Because I was always crying in my room at some point, I was just sitting out to myself, I'll be crying, just thinking about that. I wanted to stop, I couldn't stop, and it wasn't just easy. Yeah. And this kind of person I tried to hide about something that I couldn't just hide it. Yeah, I couldn't just hide the new. At some point they tried to talk to me, tried to, but at some point it was like they hated me. Yeah, that's why it seems for me now. At some point it felt like they hated me because of what I was doing. And well, it's not like they hated what I was doing. So it's not it's not just good to
take drugs. Like, it's good. It's better not to even do care at all because when you do it, like some people say, when you take crack, you feel like you're in heaven. You know, even for someone that has not even taken weed, taking codeine, taking whatever, taking any kind of drug, and crack is something you smoke. Some people are yeah, some people like that, they're not taking any kind of drug in their life, they don't even smoke cigarette. But when they tasted crack, it was something else. It could have helped, and at the same time, I feel those things doesn't really help. The rehab stuff, this depends on the kind of rehabilitation you're going to. I feel at some point, I feel it doesn't really help because you're still going to be meeting people, drug users, that will be introducing you to new drugs. Yeah, they will introduce you to new drugs. Yeah, have you tried this? This is one nice to take home. Have you tried this? Ah, yeah, you need to try it. The attention center is where you go to spend time, like, depends on kind of rehab, to spend months not taking drugs, getting lectures about how to stop drugs, having having therapy sessions and other that's just the rehab. So the main aim is just for you to stop taking drugs. And at that moment you won't have access to drugs. So that's what the rehab is. I went there voluntarily. I was introduced to and I went voluntarily. I was like, I want to go so I can stop. Yeah, my mom had someone, she knew someone that was working in the rehabilitation center. So the person suggested suggested it to her. They talked to me about it. I was like, yeah, I actually need to go for the program. I need to just go so I can just keep my hair straight so my hair can be straight. Because at some point, crack, other drugs makes you get angry. Like, you get angry. So yeah, I was getting angry also. So I was getting worse. I was getting angry, I was getting worse. I could damage still. So, well, just thank God for everything. Like, there's a point you can still have a U-turn. You know, have a U-turn and go back. This thing has not given any advantage to my life, but majorly disadvantages. So, what's the use? What's the essence? I would recommend you go to rehab I went to. So, I can't really answer that question. Maybe other rehabs are better, but what I meant to, I really like it. Yeah, but I've seen a guy that slipped in, like, slipped in drugs. He slipped in crack to the rehab. He took it. There's people out there who is like your parents can come and see your uncle or something. So some drugs they actually start what they are bringing for you. You know, they search what they are bringing for you. But some people, there are some most drugs are not something very big. Like crack is just something you can put in your pocket. Like, so you might have an uncle or auntie that knows you take care of the leg, bring this stuff for me, and they just bring it for you. So it doesn't really matter. Depends on the real world. That's just it. I feel good. I feel okay. Like making people have the awareness about how it works, about everything about the drug life, about how it affects you, and how to stop. And for those that are still taking, for them to know that okay, at some point I can still stop. That's not the end of the night. So, yeah, I'll continue. I felt the fact that I took it and I was able to stop, I should be able to see everything of okay, this is the kind of person I was, and I was able to stop. So I can still show up anytime, any day.